Do you want to break into cybersecurity? It can be difficult in such a saturated job market. However, in this video, I'm going to outline 3 key steps that you can take to get into this lucrative and rewarding field. Hello everyone, my name is Talmadge with Big Bro Security, and let's get more secure together. In today's video, I'm going to be helping you to break into this field of cybersecurity if you're totally new. And even if you're not new, this video may contain some helpful tips to help you progress your career, so make sure to stay tuned. The first key step that you need to consider when getting into cybersecurity is building your foundations. Like most areas in IT, cybersecurity is an extremely broad field, so you need to develop solid foundations in basic IT principles such as knowledge of how different hardware works, the 3 basic operating systems, and common security concepts such as the CIA triad, which stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. And that's a concept that you apply to data to ensure that it is confidential, that it maintains integrity, which means it was not modified by an unauthorized person, and it is available to those people who need it. If you're first starting out, that probably means you have 0 experience in cybersecurity, and there's a chance that that might extend to technology and IT as a whole, beyond basic literacy of computers, of course. So it can be hard to know what to study, but here's a few things that can help. The first thing you'll want to begin studying to build those foundational concepts, aside from watching YouTube videos like this, is for an exam called the CompTIA A+. CompTIA, or CompTIA as commonly referred to in the industry, is a certifying body that makes certifications that cover a lot of basic concepts and areas of information technology. But for this video, we're going to be focusing on the ones that will gain you the most benefit when getting into cybersecurity. The CompTIA A+ covers basic IT principles like hardware and software architecture. It covers networking and data storage, server administration, and also includes help desk scenario style questions so that you can be familiarized as if you are working on a help desk, which is a common entry point into the IT world and into security in general. A lot of people start at the help desk and they work their way up into the security department. The next certification exam you should take is the CompTIA Security Plus. This exam covers pretty much all the basic security concepts that you need to know and is really suitable for beginners. If you're really advanced, then you may not want to take this exam. If you've been in security for years and maybe you just don't have certifications and you want some, then the Security Plus may not be for you. But if you're just getting into security, this was, I found for myself personally, a great way to get familiarized with all the terminology and concepts of cybersecurity that you're going to be dealing with as a worker in the field. It also qualifies you for the DoD 8570 requirement for a US security clearance. So if you're in the US and you need a security clearance, this is pretty much one of the lowest end certifications that you can get that will qualify you for that. Caveat to that is I do know, but have not researched the fact that they have updated these standards recently. So I would go check the government's website just to verify what I'm saying is actually correct, because I think they came out with a new standard. But should the DoD 8570 rules still be in effect, then the Security Plus would qualify. For all of these CompTIA exams, the training I highly recommend is from Professor Messer on YouTube. I'll have his channel linked down below. He provides very comprehensive overviews of CompTIA A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, probably more information than you would need to pass the exam, even though I recommend you use his information in conjunction with other means in studying. The information in itself, if you were able to perfectly retain it, I think would probably enable you to pass the exams. They're very good and they cover even more than the exams do, so to really give you a good introduction into IT. The other option that I have not taken but does look very good is the Certified in Cybersecurity certification by ISC². Currently, it's a really good deal, so in my opinion, I would suggest that you take it because the training and the exam are currently free, minus a $50 fee that you have to pay to become a member of ISC². It's part of their initiative to get 1 million people certified in cybersecurity. It's a very beginner level certification. I have not taken it personally, but ISC² is a very reputable certification vendor / certifying body, as they make the CISSP, which is one of the top end security certifications that many people like. So I think that it would be a good choice and would highly recommend. After you develop your basic security knowledge, the next step is to delve further into the fundamentals of how information technology works. And this is in networking. The whole internet is made up of a huge distributed network. And so understanding how networking works is going to really give you a lot of skills that will benefit you as a cybersecurity worker. For example, when investigating a lot of alerts, I see traffic on the network. If I can interpret that, then I'm going to be a lot more successful than if I don't know what networking concepts are, what ports are, what IP addresses are, etc. There are 2 certifications I would recommend looking into for this. One is the CompTIA Network Plus. This certification is going to be pretty easy, not nearly as practical as the second one I'm about to mention, but it's the one that I took because it was easy and I didn't really like the whole networking thing to begin with. However, in hindsight, it would have been better for me to take this second exam that I'm about to tell you about, and that I recommend that you take over the Network Plus, and that is the Cisco Certified Network Associate, also known as the CCNA. The CCNA is really good and really thorough for networking, even if Cisco may be getting a bit bloated and potentially losing market share. Cisco is still very widely available. It's what's recognized. And I've never gotten any specific networking questions from people seeing that I had the Network Plus in job interviews. But from my research, people with the CCNA often get more respect when it's seen that they have the CCNA and they can answer relevant questions about networking, which proves that they actually have the knowledge. So overall, the CCNA is more respected. And if you're learning networking, which I recommend you do if you're getting into cybersecurity, that's what I would recommend. Step 2 when getting into cybersecurity is build your security knowledge and skills. So by this point in this video, if you followed all the steps as I've outlined, then that means that you have covered all the basic IT knowledge that you need. Now it's time to really dive into security. You may be wondering, wow, Talmadge, you've mentioned a ton of certifications so far. Why are you pushing all these certifications on me? Why can't I just learn and be able to get a job from my knowledge? Because people should know that I know things, right? Well, that's exactly the reason that I'm recommending that you get certifications. You see, if you're starting out in cybersecurity, you don't know what you don't know. There's a lot of areas of cybersecurity. There's a lot of terms, concepts, knowledge that you need to gain to be a successful worker in the cybersecurity field that you just don't know that you need to learn because you're new. And this is where certifications come in. Certifications give you a preset benchmark of knowledge that you need to have to be able to pass that certification and demonstrate competency in all the areas covered by it. And they start from obviously very entry level, such as the Certified in Cybersecurity or Security Plus, to very advanced like the CISSP or the OSCP. And this gives you a really great way to structure your learning around the objectives in the certifications to ensure you have a comprehensive knowledge base in your mind and potentially in your notes of all the concepts and practical application of that knowledge in the cybersecurity field. It also demonstrates specific sets of knowledge to employers. If employers see that you have the CCNA, they're going to be able to reasonably assume that you are a pretty skilled, but still sort of entry-level network technician level of knowledge. A lot of times the people that are interviewing you are also going to have similar certifications as you or have taken them in the past. And so they'll have an idea of the difficulty and the discipline that it's taken you to study for those certifications, as well as an idea of the knowledge that you probably hold. So if you don't have any work experience backing you up, certifications are a great way to demonstrate your knowledge to a potential employer. One of my biggest study tips that I did not necessarily employ years ago because I didn't know it existed, but am now, and let me know in the comments if you'd like me to make a video on this as I'm studying for the CISSP, is employing a Zettelkasten framework of note-taking and using the software Obsidian MD to store my notes in a linked manner so that I can have a comprehensive way to store all of my notes and link them together to really help me remember all of these concepts that I'm learning in cybersecurity and be able to utilize those in the future. Now, I have a few recommended certifications. The first one is the CompTIA CYSA Plus. I made a video review on it, which I'll link up here several years ago. Doubtless the content of the exam has changed somewhat, but the basic principles should stay the same. It was more advanced than the Security Plus, but not too terribly advanced, and it really focused a lot on scenario-based questions from the perspective of a SOC analyst, which is great. If you've been working as a SOC analyst, then this exam should be really easy for you. But if you're just new to it, it will give you a pretty good idea of typical scenarios that you may encounter as a SOC analyst and give you knowledge on what should you do in those scenarios. Now, in this next phase of certifications, you're going to have two paths that you have to choose from. One is the path of the red teamer and one is the path of the blue teamer. Red teaming is a lot like penetration testing or ethical hacking, where you will work on a team to discover vulnerabilities in either your organization or client organizations' networks and try to compromise their networks ethically under a preset agreement and terms of engagement, and then give them a report afterwards on where their vulnerabilities are so that they can patch them. Blue team is the opposite of red team, and that is where you will work to defend your network from potential attackers. So this is SOC analyst, information security engineer, etc. type of positions. Even architect level positions are generally on the side of the blue team, so to speak. I originally wanted to get into red teaming when I first started in cybersecurity, but quickly came to realize that the scope of knowledge that you need to be able to effectively be a penetration tester is so much greater than to exist in the blue team world that I ended up opting for the blue team world. And the blue team world also has a lot more employment opportunities than red teaming. So it just made it a lot easier for me. And honestly, the roles that I got were just blue team roles to begin with. So it was a natural fit. However, don't let that discourage you if you really love penetration testing and hacking, and especially if you feel like you have a knack for out of the box thinking, and especially if it ends up coming naturally to you, then by all means pursue red teaming. These first set of certifications will help you with that. They are by TCM Security, and they are the junior OSINT researcher. OSINT stands for Open Source Intelligence Gathering. And this is beneficial either way, because whether you're gathering intelligence on a potential target for a red teaming engagement, or you're gathering intelligence on potential adversaries as a blue team member, this certification is going to help you, and course is going to help you get the knowledge that you need to be able to research your targets with open source information. Now, if you're wanting to dive into penetration testing, I would recommend the Junior Penetration Tester and the Network Penetration Tester courses and exams from TCM Security. Also check out Hack the Box Academy for some more red teaming exercises, as they have a lot of labs and also courses that you can go through to help you gain red teaming skills. If you're looking to get into blue teaming, as in the normal SOC analyst, SOC engineer type work like I do, then I have not taken these exams, but Security Blue Team from my research seems to have some really good exams. They have the Certified Blue Team Level 1 and 2 exams, as well as the Certified Security Operations Manager exam. So definitely look into those, look into the study material for those, and I would highly recommend taking some of those to demonstrate, again, that level of knowledge to a future employer. The second way to demonstrate knowledge to a future employer is by degrees. Now, I want to emphasize that you do not need degrees to get into IT or cybersecurity. However, in my personal experience, they have been very beneficial to me to help get higher salaries, as well as demonstrate even more experience to my potential employers, as there's coursework that I did outside of certifications that enabled me to show experience. Maybe I wrote papers, did sample exercises that I would normally do in an enterprise environment, but just thought experiment wise or in a lab, that I was able to document through my degree and have as experience and talking points in an interview. For degrees, I highly recommend Western Governors University. They are roughly $4,000 for a 6-month term, at least last time I checked. And in that 6-month term, you can complete as many classes as possible. So for cybersecurity, Western Governors University is a no-brainer. It's an online school, and it's really great that it's self-paced. I would recommend taking CLEP tests and transferring those in for the general credits. But then for the cybersecurity courses, you're able to use Western Governors University, and they're really great. The bachelor's degree in cybersecurity and the master's degree across both of them include multiple certifications such as the ITIL Foundations, CompTIA A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, Project Plus, CYSA Plus, Pentest Plus, ISC Squared, CSP, and sscp, and more. So they're really great because you get a lot of certifications along with your degree, which help validate your knowledge even more. Also, they're fully accredited, so that means that they are legit degrees and they're not some sort of degree farm. A lot of people take 3 to 4 years to complete them, and other people take as short as 6 months. I'll put a link down there below, an affiliate link. I think I get a little kickback possibly from them, but if you want to check them out at the link in the description below. They are not sponsoring this video, but I went there, I got both my degrees from there, and I think they're really worth it. The final step of getting into cybersecurity is demonstrating experience. And the way that you do this is through home labs. Home labs are basically networks of virtual machines that you can set up to test things and implement different enterprise level security softwares so that you can learn more about them and be able to understand them, so that when you go into a real enterprise environment, if they happen to use the same software or something similar, you're able to apply that knowledge that you already have and have demonstrated through home labbing into the enterprise environment. I would recommend after you set up a home lab to showcase your experience through either writing blog posts or write-ups, or even filming YouTube videos like this so that employers can see that and click on the link on your digital resume and see, oh wow, they have experience, they've taught tutorials, they've done write-ups, and it really lets them see that you have that practical knowledge that security certifications may not always showcase. Security certifications are great for head knowledge, and some of them are very practical, but this is going to help bridge that gap even more to show you have practical security experience without having to have a job in cybersecurity, which of course is the goal here. And so this is a sort of prerequisite step for getting that. As far as practical suggestions for home labs, I would suggest setting up a server if you have a spare computer with Fedora Linux Server Edition. You can run containers and virtual machines on that. It'll let you do a lot of fun stuff in a virtual environment. Otherwise, if you have a Windows computer, install VirtualBox or Hyper-V on there and set up an Arch Linux VM and go through the full install process. I have a link linked up here of how to do that, and make sure to check out some of the comments because I do believe I made an error, but the comments section fortunately fixes that error for you and it'll let you install Arch Linux. I'm going to make a video on how to do it more easily soon, but I do recommend the manual way because it really teaches you all the aspects of Linux when installing it. As far as various security appliances that you could set up in a virtualized manner, I would recommend Pi-hole, which is a DNS blocker. I have a guide to set that up here. You could set up OpenSense, which is a open source firewall. Splunk, with the free version at least, is a small scale SIEM that you could set up. It's industry used all over the place. They were just acquired by Cisco, but still they're used all over the place, and it'd be really great to know the basics of Splunk query language and how to set those up, how to forward events into it, etc. I'd also recommend Security Onion. It's a suite of open source security tooling, and it uses stuff like the Elk stack, Hive, Cortex. There's a bunch of other tools that it has integrated into it, and they're all beneficial to learn because even if they're not the exact tools used in a workplace, they're going to be pretty much equivalents used in a workplace, just probably more fully featured and of course much more expensive. Other practical experience platforms you can check out is TryHackMe and HackTheBox. They both have different labs and little courses that you can go through to demonstrate practical experience on there through leveling up your account and gaining XP and levels. And that is a way that you could say, oh, I'm really highly ranked on HackTheBox and TryHackMe, so therefore I have practical knowledge. That may be a way to help demonstrate experience to your employer. I'd also recommend checking out GNS3. It's a network labbing setup. It'll allow you to more effectively emulate enterprise environments on your home computer. Of course, some of these softwares are going to require more computer resources. So if your computer's pretty limited in resources, it's going to be more difficult, but it is still possible. So today I covered 3 basic ways to get into cybersecurity. Those are building your foundations, gaining security knowledge, and demonstrating your experience. The last thing is write up an amazing resume, which I'm not going to cover in this episode, but if you would like me to cover that in an episode and how I structure my resume, then drop that in the comments below and I can cover that in a future video. If you have any more tips for anyone or any thoughts on what I covered today, please feel free to drop a comment below and let's continue the discussion there. I love chatting with you guys. You always have valuable insight that you bring to my videos. And so I'd love to be able to gain some more insight from you in the comments and continue this discussion. Often in my videos, people in the comments comment things that are helpful to other users, and it's really great to see the sense of community down in the comments. We're all just trying to get better and become more secure together. If you like this video, please feel free to leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you aren't already for more content just like this. Share the video on your social media if you want to help other people get into cybersecurity. Feel free to check out my blog for a written version of this. It'll be linked down in the description below, and sign up for my newsletter to be notified whenever I post new blog posts about this or anything else, and just to receive more of my general musings on life, things I'm studying, etc. I'm Talmadge with Big Bro Security, and I'll see you in the next one.